saw for a minute there was a guy named Paul Sinker, known as the Vulture. I don't know the name. I've been hunting this guy for 7 years, all over this planet, from the Congo to Detroit. The Vulture. Here's the interesting thing. He told his friends, Donald Trump gets elected, we're going to have a worldwide depression. That's fine with him. He's in the vulture business. When things die, he makes money. He thought it was a great idea. Really? Now, in Trump's very first and only press conference, the only one he's ever held, if you remember, he went on this kind of hour-long psychobabble rant. Remember, that's why it was his last press conference, right? But at the beginning of the press conference, he said, Paul Singer was just up in my office. He was really excited. This guy would come to his office. By the way, it's not your office, Mr. Trump. It's the Oval Office. No president ever has referred to it as their office. It's our office. It's the Oval Office. It's the office of the people. Sorry. You're just sitting in it, buddy. And nothing more. Now, so he's all excited. This guy Singer's coming to his office. Not one reporter asked either who is Paul Singer, if they don't know, or what is the Vulture doing in your office. The answer is this. Trump said that there would be no way to come up with a health care bill. Remember, he said, whoever thought it was so complex? Well, if you don't think, you never thought, right? So he said, no one said, what's the Vulture doing in the Oval Office? Well, here's what he was doing. He was selling Trump. He said, no, you don't have to wait 2 years. We have, at the Manhattan Institute, we've developed a plan which we've given to Paul Ryan. So right now it's Ryan Care, but it could be Trump Care. Put your name on it. Ryan Care, Trump Care. Like the ring of that. And he suddenly whipped around and endorsed Ryan Care. Now, why does the Vulture care about your health insurance? Is he concerned that Obamacare does not give you your original choice of plans and doctors? What was the concern? The concern is this. The 3.8% tax on unearned income. What is unearned income? That means stuff that you didn't earn, that you didn't work for, that you got through speculation, which applied only to millionaires. You had to literally have a net income of $500,000 a year to even get touched by this tax, and then only the money you earned by not working, by Vulture tax on markets that with the signature of the Vulture. He paid. Now, that was, how much does that tax on billionaire speculators bring in? $156 billion over 10 years. $156 billion, and that's what paid. That's the main thing that paid for the subsidies on Obamacare to keep the premiums down. So this is not about, so what we're seeing, Trump Care, and now the new iteration, just the putzing around, but same thing, with the 3.8% gone. And there's no way, with that $156 billion gone, that you have to throw people into the snow to die. Because you got to get rid of that 3.8%. That's what it's about. It's not a health care bill. It's a Vulture care bill. Okay? It's for Paul Singer. And it's for JP. John Paulson, the foreclosure king. You'll meet him in the film too. Billionaire. And his buddy, Robert Mercer, another speculator, another guy got hit by the 3.8% tax to get hit by something else. They right now have a loophole, however, to avoid any other taxes, called carried interest. Doesn't matter. That's $170 billion over 10 years. And Robert Mercer is facing a massive backed-up tax bill because on carried interest, because they said he didn't qualify for it. So Mercer needed the carried interest loophole widened. Paulson, the foreclosure king, saved $1 billion personally. He himself saved $1 billion off his taxes in a single year from this loophole. And there was two candidates that stood up against the carried interest loophole. One was Bernie Sanders. The other was a guy named Donald Trump who said, we're gonna close that loophole. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. He did say that. And what did he do? Did he close that loophole? No, he ripped it wide open. Big enough, because one reason he complained about it is he never qualified for it. Because you remember, Donald Trump only plays a billionaire on TV. He's not a billionaire. These are real billionaires. So now they've widened the loophole so that he can march through, that Mercer can march through. Okay? It's the money. See, think of Trump. You know, he's the clown, right? He's the twittiot. Okay? He makes everyone laugh, distracts everyone. Russians, bleeding from her face, blah, blah. But he's the glove puppet. And I want you to read the book, see the film, follow the work that we're doing. Because I want you to meet the guys whose fingers are in the puppet, are in Trump's puppets. Okay? That's Mercer, and Singer the Vulture, and Paulson the Foreclosure King, and his partner Steve Mnuchin. Okay? These guys. This is a walking racketeering operation. Okay, and one other guy. Now, Donald Trump, one of the reasons he won, and I can't say the name of one of the highest officials in Ohio, who said, my God, Hillary comes to Ohio and talks about the wonders of NAFTA and free trade. And Donald Trump stood in front of the gates of Delphi Automotive, the auto parts company. Every single job was lost. Every single UAW job was lost. The plant was shut down and moved lock, stock, and barrel to Monterrey, Mexico. Donald Trump stood in front of those closed plant gates and said, I will give you back your job. Day one, NAFTA, the worst deal ever, is toast. And you know what? Maybe people weren't racist to vote for their jobs, to get their jobs back, even though they could smell the mendacity, the fakery. It was as true as it, like going to a Trump casino that you're going to get rich, right? Here's a guy who made his money by getting working people to hand over their paychecks and saying we had a wonderful time. He's doing it again. So now, he said, I will put an end to this. Day one. And by we're getting towards 200. And NAFTA has not been touched. He barely kissed it. Because to move that plant back from Monterey to Ohio, you would have to return some of the tariffs on auto parts. And the guy who would negotiate that, of course, is the Secretary of Commerce. And the Secretary of Commerce is named Wilbur Ross. And Wilbur Ross is the guy who owns the goddamn plant in Mexico. We'll bring New York jobs back to Mexico. He certainly ain't going to hit himself with tariffs. So what it is, when we're talking about vote theft, what we're really talking about is simply the mechanism of a billionaire's coup d'etat. And that's what's going on. Now what? You know, we're heading back. We're heading right into the 4th of July weekend. I'm going to tell you something. When I was down in Georgia at that Memorial Day event, they gave everyone little flags. You saw those little flags, and they're pulling them angry. They're shaking them like this. They're shaking them like at me when I'm asking a question, USA, USA. Because they're desperate and they're scared and they don't know what the hell else to do. I'm going to tell you, this is the flag of a revolution. It was not just a revolution about breaking away from the mother country. It was a revolution that people said, you can't take us for granted anymore. You can't take our lives and our money. You can't send us into your horrid wars, imperial wars. You can't take our wealth. You can't require us to work for your overlords. It was a real revolution. And that's, he said, and the revolutionary weapon we will use, because we don't have the guns that the British and their mercenaries had. We don't have the power, we don't have the money. But we're creating something brand new. We've got to vote this revolutionary new weapon that could not be stopped. This 4th of July, you're going to tell them you're not taking it away. Thank you.